It's such an honor for me to be here today to talk about an issue that is so near and dear to my heart. You know, as a lifelong Marylander who is no stranger to Howard County, as I look around the hall today, it's so clear to see what truly makes Howard County the best place to live in the country. Every walk of life, every nationality, every ethnicity, every religion is represented in this space, in this county, and we are so proud and honored to be led under the leadership of our beloved Howard County Executive, Calvin Ball. Let's give him a big round of applause. You know, as I was trying to figure out, what I wanted to be the key themes of my talk today, one thing that kept coming to my mind was how incredibly fortunate we are to call home a country that has made so much progress when it comes to laws and institutions that truly reflect and champion the rights for individuals of diverse races, genders, backgrounds, to truly be able to feel accepted and embraced. But even as we celebrate the progress that we've made since the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the various milestones in the civil rights journey, we don't have to look far to know that there is still so much work to do. And each and every single one of us has a unique responsibility, a role that we play in helping to make sure that every child, regardless of their race, religion, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, feel welcomed, feel valued, feel like they have the opportunity to succeed. There's a lot of laws in our country that protect people, but there's really no law that has jurisdiction over our hearts and minds. And sisters and brothers, when we talk about celebrating diversity, that's truly what we're talking about. We're talking about winning over hearts and minds. Because at the root cause of it, at the core of racism and divisiveness in our country, we know that it's inspired by fear. Fear of the other, fear of the unknown. And that's what creates chasms within our communities that contribute to so much of the divisiveness and the toxicity that we see within our midst. Even in our county right here, there's a lot of conversations happening about ways we can bring our communities together. And a lot of folks are in their own neighborhoods and their own families and their own circles having conversations about other people, but we have got to develop the courage to have these conversations with one another across these lines. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine last week over coffee. And she was like, what do you think the one thing is that we need right now in our country? And brothers and sisters, we need courage. Because too many communities are living in fear right now. Too many communities are feeling uncertain. Immigrant communities, African American communities, Latino communities, refugees, Muslim Americans, Jewish communities, because they've been caught up in this web of toxicity and racism and xenophobia and Islamophobia and all different kinds of phobias, right? That are perpetuated to this fear amongst us. So as we talk about diversity in our county, we must truly reflect and understand that diversity enriches and strengthens us. The vast array of experiences, the narratives, the different kinds of, cuisines. Yes, absolutely, food is always a motivator to bring people together. All of these contribute to helping build a robust society. No one should ever feel limited by their protected status. Representation matters, and that's why the path to victory in this battle requires that we also achieve diversity through leadership and through recognition. Because it's not enough to know that we are created equal, right? We've got to actually live it every day. We've got to live it through our actions, through our words, through the ways that we engage with other people, with one another, with strangers who we might happen to just see crossing the street. Because stereotyping and divisiveness thrives in the absence of diversity. And it rationalizes scapegoating, it creates chasms, it allows us to walk into a space and gravitate towards people who look like us, right? Because that's how we feel comfortable. But we grow the most when we are uncomfortable. It's when we have the courage to place ourselves in uncomfortable situations that we truly grow and appreciate one another the most. And that's the beauty of being in a space like Howard County. Because this past election showed us that Howard County is a strong county. It's a resilient county. It's a county that's faced with many challenges, but it's not afraid to take on those challenges. That even though we might not always agree on everything, we will agree to disagree respectfully, and we will respect one another's rights to our opinions and our thoughts, and we will debate and have conversations, even while we recognize that all of us, at the end of the day, want what's best for our families, for our children, and for all of the beloved residents in this space. You know, I was talking with another friend of mine recently, and we were talking about shackles, right? The societal and self-imposed shackles are so much more debilitating than iron shackles that imprison people. They immobilize our bodies. And in my activism to push for access and inclusion in diverse spaces as a visible Muslim woman, right, who wears a headscarf, who's often asked, "Where are you from?" And I respond, "Baltimore." And I get asked, "No, but where are you really from?" And I say, "Baltimore." And I often get this confused look, you know, in people's faces, like, how could you possibly be from Baltimore? As a woman who has chosen to embrace my identity as a proud, unapologetic Muslim American, I feel that it's very important for us to make sure that, you know, the greatest tragedy currently is the fact that there are children who have low test scores. But the biggest tragedy is that there are children who can't see themselves succeeding in certain spaces because they don't recognize that yes, Black women can grow up to be CEOs. That yes, Muslim women can be athletes. That yes, Latinx people do have a place in the US Senate. And that people from their neighborhood can go to college. And so there's a lot of work to do when it comes to empowering young minds. And I truly believe that if we let children lead us, if we follow their example, that we can truly build a better society for everybody. Because no one is born a racist, right? Everybody is born not having these biases inside of us. And so we have so much potential to truly build a society that reflects all of us. And I think what Howard County is doing right now is setting the benchmark for other counties around the state and around the country. And I'm so proud to be here today, so proud of the work that each and every one of you are doing every single day to make our county a safer space to live and a place where every child can be proud of as they grow up. Thank you so much, and God bless you.